Um, Dr. Mark Gornik, as a director of City Seminary, can you just tell me a little bit about City Seminary and how it relates to your understanding of joy?
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. City Seminary was founded in 2003 as a response to what God is doing in the city, as a response to seeing how church life is growing. And so we're born out of a vision for the church, a vision of the church as youthful, a vision of the church as mobile and moving around the world, a vision of the church as filled with worshiping communities and changed lives in the city. We see that coming from Africa, from Asia, from Latin America, from the Caribbean, from the West Indies, and from across the United States as people make their way to cities. And so as that comes to our city, we not only have a vision of the church at City Seminary, but we have a vision of the city. In the book of Acts, it talks about great joy in the city. And the fruit of the life of the gospel is joy in the city. And so we care not only about flourishing within the church, but we care about flourishing within the city. And so we're about a vision of the church and a vision of the flourishing of the city. And we live that out through a series of learning communities, which begins with our young people. It involves non-degree, non-formal, a future graduate program, a longitudinal community of now hundreds of leaders across the city who are working together to do this. And we live this out in our neighborhood in Harlem. We live it out through the arts, we live it out through youth programs, we live it out through a chaplaincy program. So our vision is a vision for the church and a vision for the city. And we live it out in our neighborhood, our city, and even in our world as we connect with others who are working in our urbanized world. Because as we know, two of the greatest changes that the world is now facing is the urbanization of our planet. We're now more than half urban around the world. In fact, the United States is 80% of America is an urbanized area, 80%. And we see that happening around the world as the trend toward urbanization grows. And secondly, we also see this trend of the church as flourishing in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. And as migration happens, we in the United States get to experience the benefit of that change in the life of the church. And so bubbling up in the city, bubbling up is this new ecclesial life that we get to experience at City Seminary. And that's why we're there and what we're doing.